How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Trigun Stargaze episode review. It's episode 3, Memento Mori. Before I go any further, I need you guys to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right there. Make sure you share the video and visit the Patreon that's right there in the description below. So, this was a pretty good episode. I guess I don't want to spoil too early my rating for it, but this was a good episode. Have a couple problems, but this was a good one. By the way, so the title, Memento Mori. Now we know what unforgivable means, right? But let's break down what Memento Mori is, right? Memento Mori is actually a noun, which means an object serving as a warning or reminder of death. Like a skull, right? Or tombstone. Well, I assume that the Memento Mori here would be the villain itself, possibly. Or maybe Vash himself is the Memento Mori. Man, it could be multiple things, right? Let's talk about a quick recap. So, Jessica found Vash after finding him with the gauntlet guy who hoppered. I didn't remember his name at all while watching this episode, but hoppered. And they got to go back to home because home has been invaded by obviously the Puppet Master, because they give us hints at the end. We know it's the Puppet Master. And at the very beginning of this episode, go back to my notes here. Very beginning of this episode, well, I guess I'll do the recap. Very beginning of this episode, we see Millie, taking notes. The ship that crash landed, I guess they call it lost technology. One of the guards is like, man, so I guess something great, like more greater than that's gonna come from the sky in a few months, right? And I guess I'll be out of a job, but I'll be happy, right? Everybody's happy to be off of no man's land, which I'm pretty sure is not gonna happen, but I digress. Was it Millie calls Meryl, I love it, she calls her senpai. I hope they're translating that into like Miss Meryl when she talks to Millie calling Meryl senpai. But she's like, yeah, we got to go see it for ourselves. That's what you got to do. She also didn't get an answer. I guess Meryl has a way to call the other colony people, or maybe she's calling headquarters, but she wasn't getting an answer. Then we get two funny jokes here. One funny joke is the guy that said, yeah, I saw the Vash Stampede. He was running. He had a girl with him. So give me my money. And the guards are like, but you don't have him with you. Don't take it up with me. Take it up with our bosses. And that was a funny joke. And then you have the girls driving off without Wolfwood, and he's like running after them. By the way, apparently he only has 3 vials of that blue stuff. I don't remember if we established what that blue stuff was last season. I know technically in this version of Trigun, he's like an aged up kid, so I guess he needs that to stabilize, maybe. Just taking a guess. The reason why I hesitated with talking about this opening part here, they're using a lot of like traditional looking anime, like not just the cell shaded stuff that we're used to, that pretty much makes the game almost look like it makes it look like a video game / a comic book, which is not bad at all. Took some getting used to, but not bad at all. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me. This opening here, this is definitely like hand drawn, like not even hand drawn, just gotta get back. Like, look at that. Almost look like an update from like, if not the 90s, like early 2000s. And what, another one here. This has to be a combination of both hand drawn and the cell shading, because you can tell a little bit about the cell shading here, especially with his fingers, right? When we go from, usually with darker skinned people, brown skinned people, what they do with animation, it's like a blending from like the finger to the fingernails. But even this, like the poster, I think the posters have always been hand drawn, but let me give you something else. Nope, that's the Puppet Master. Nope, that's the battle. Here, towards the end of the battle, where Vash shoots one of the string balls. One of the balls he uses to control his puppets here. That should help. Ooh, boy. The saturated colors really make it hard to show it here. This is why I actually donate to the Patreon, so that way we can get some editing software and just pop the pictures right up there. So, yeah, that is definitely hand-drawn stuff. Like, very funny that the full gravity moment in here reminded me of Dragon Ball. And we got a great Dragon Ball announcement. We back. Anyway, who was the villain? Well, the villain, it's kind of funny that I even took a picture. I'm not going to show you all of the pictures because, oh man, these colors are so saturated here. But that's our villain. That's apparently a bowler hat. I didn't realize it until I looked at one of the other images of him after doing a tiny bit of research with his either it's the coat or his waist is like super cinched in. Old man. So Leonoff, the Puppet Master, tall old man. He's been an old man in the 98 anime, in the manga, and here. I feel like here he looks much older because that 98 picture that I'm being reminded of, he looks more like just like a meek man, which they say he acts meek in there, but he looks less old and more just mealy and meek. In anime, didn't get much backstory on this guy. He's just a bad guy, part of the Gung Ho Guns, right? He was in love with a girl named Isabel from his youth who passed away. And hold on, that's the manga part. And in the anime, I think her body was this is the manga. In the manga, her body was like amongst all of the puppet things that were falling down. Vash tried to save him, slash Vash's arm so he can get to her body, right? And in the anime, he doesn't get a background. He is killed off by Wolfwood, who also kills off Hopper and Gray, the 9 lives, right? But in here, it is pretty much a mixture because we get more of a backstory where he was a little kid on that original colony. And it took me a minute to remember where they were showing us back in time. It was, I forget what episode it was, to be completely honest with you. But it was back when Vash first had his first confrontation with Knives. Well, Nye at the time, but his first confrontation with Knives. And, the guards were coming up. He was about to steal the plants, telling Vash we have free will. And he was killing the guards. He was with that other doctor guy. And this kid, I'm going to be honest, they didn't make me feel sorry for Leonoff. Because he had this king puppet, which kind of looked like Farquaad from Shrek almost. And he was ordering kids around. He's like, does he call him the lowly? He calls people trash, like just straight up. I'm going to go back a little bit since I go too much in depth. Yeah, kid says garbage shouldn't need to think, just do. So he's acting like an asshole as a kid. Sees the confrontation, sees Knives kill them, and Knives tells Vash, I'll give you a century to think about it. Almost. Give you about a century. And the kid hides, and when Knives comes out, he looks at the kid. Still has that angry look. Looks at the kid, and then keeps walking. And then that's when the kid just gets up and follows right behind him and the doctor guy. I guess the doctor guy looked at him too. I guess his name is Michael, or the Eye of Michael. Whatever, but kid follows him. Why does he follow him? Because now he's an old man. He followed him because he says no one ever paid attention to him, just Lord Knives and the Eye of Michael. And at the end of this battle, Vash goes, make sure I got these words correctly. Wolfwood, Vash, Jessica. Nope. He tells him it's not true that no one ever paid attention to you. When you recover, let's talk Leonoff, rather Emilio. And he had this shocked look on his face like Vash. And we find out in this episode, like Vash remembers people's names. Dude's hundreds of years old, like at least 150 years plus. But not only does he remember Emilio, not only did he remember the little kid that got turned into a giant monster, he remembers the people that died in July, like Mary, Ken, Takeshi, Ange, Jiro, and Roberto, the reporter guy. He remembers everybody that he's come in contact with. He loved the people. He loved July because apparently the people there would give him water, would break bread with him. They would smile at him. Apparently he never saw the ones that beat up Erics and made her blind. But I digress. Even though it's like July looks like one of those metroplex cities, but that's neither here nor there, right? And he is holding on to this guilt. Now, Emilio, or Leonoff the Puppet Master, has these two balls. He kind of does like magic tricks and stuff, but that's where the strings are coming from. That's how he's able to control them. Yeah, this was kind of a smart and action-packed battle where initially, guy grabs Jessica because they're trying to find everybody. Grabs Jessica. His puppets can cast illusion or image to look like someone. And he was having one puppet look like Knives and one puppet look like her and threatened to kill her. And it becomes abundantly clear, okay, no, that's the real Jessica. This is not this. He was using the cameras to watch them, which I love it when you see cameras move. And I guess our heroes are too busy trying to focus to even paying attention to it. But then in the middle of the battle, or should I say when Vash was getting jumped, he started to pay attention to the camera. But yeah, use the strength to move. This battle was really, 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 really good. Like some cool points here. When Vash was first in the small room, in the security room, when they figured out this is where this guy is. And after he shoots the extinguisher to block his vision, because that's when the puppet stopped moving, because like I can't see it, I can't move him. Also, those orbs were gifts from Knives to him to make him king. Leonoff, the puppet master, the king of puppets, master of puppets. Burn, 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 burn. And that the small room fight. Vash. One of the coolest things from the 98, I guess I can say 1998 Trigun was the device he used to load his revolver. Just like poof, pop it out, shoot. Here, Vash is so quick with the reload. I love it. I love that animation, that reload animation. And is he right-handed or left-handed? He may actually. I can't. Yeah, he has to be right-handed. That left hand doesn't exist. But I like the shoot, reload, no look shot. That was cool. When they go into the bigger anti-gravity room, which another thing I like is that Jessica had a part to play. Which also in her part to play, I can't believe I never noticed that the plants were beings. Because when we see the other side of the plant, you see a little plant butt. You see a little butt. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe that hint has been there the whole time. Just never noticed it until knowing now that the plants are these other beings. But anyway, her part of either making zero gravity or super gravity that'll make your train become a Super Saiyan. That battle was great. I loved, because I took a picture of it, but I won't show it now because of the colors. Or maybe the colors will show up because it's more of a neutral. Not neutral, but not as saturated. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. As the kids say. This is where Vash is. So these things have guns too, or able to shoot. He's firing at them either point blank, knocking them out, took one's arm, stabbed it, used it as a shield, uses his grappling hook to run across on the sides. Even in the zero gravity where dude uses the strings to kind of make him look like he's being crucified. able to still move around. That was a good. What's another good part? The when they put all the G's on, and he's trying to hold the gun, and he just dislodges his arm because it's not part of him. It's weighing him down to shoot and break the orbs. What's another good part of this fight? Wolfwood showing up. So dude taking a puppet. He's like, I'm gonna kill you with me. Well, the explosion didn't seem like it was big enough to kill both of them. Okay. Wolfwood showing up at the nick of time. I loved how Vash seemed genuinely happy to see his friend. He was like, wait, you're not a puppet. Okay, just checking. You know, Wolfwood, you're here. Blocking it, saying you're still a softie. Focus until the end. I love that. And the girls pretty much end the fight. Like, I guess they were on one of the scaffoldings and it crushes Leonoff. But Leonoff injected something inside of him, right? Was that supposed to like turn him into a super mutant? Apparently he was able to send a note to the bad guys or a message to the bad guys saying, I lost, he's here. Fudge does that mean? And even Wolfwood was looking at the syringe. I want to know, will that be something that comes back up? I hope that's not something that's dropped, but this show has a nice way of like planting stuff and then stuff coming back. I love when Ludia shows up and we see Brad, so everyone is safe. Brad's like, I had to keep everybody locked up because there's too many of them puppets. Couldn't tell. Puppets, couldn't tell. Small little tangent. Puppet Masters are interesting to me. I need to watch Puppet Princess, that old 80s / early 90s movie. I need to watch that one. For some reason, like things like Kankuro. Kankuro was interesting to me. I wish Boruto could have been so good if they would have like taken concepts that we didn't see more of. I would love to see like more of a successful use of chakra strings or puppet masters. All right, tangent over. I like that, he's having this conversation naming about the July stuff. Like, I fought knives and, I did something unforgivable. All these people are dead. And she's like, all of us on this planet bear responsibility for that. Because, we're using the plants. And unfortunately, knives is like, you all use us. I want to kill all y'all because I'm insane. So, she's saying it's not just on you, but I love the fact that everybody rallied around him. I liked when he was, starting to let all this out, that Jessica was comforting him, rubbing his back. And you have Meryl. Meryl is so funny. She comes off as professional when she first sees him again. It's like, here's my card. He remembers her, says, nice to meet you, Millie. And then she kind of like drops the professionalism a little bit, where she's like, yo, and I'm make sure I got this right. Nope. Jessica also Jessica saw a vision from the plants. From that plant. She even thanked him when she said thank you and saw a vision with feathers. So her, Meryl, obviously Vash. Interesting. He remembers Gauntlet Dude saying he's lives to suffer, but Ludia says, you're trying to walk the right path. It's not your fault. Meryl says, you're not alone in this fight. And all of his people back him up. I hope I can get that for the thumbnail for this, because I like the fact, Wolfwood, Millie, Meryl, Jessica, Brad, all of them step up and just make, we get the Ludia saying Okarina Sai, which means welcome home. And he's like, Tadaima. He cries. He's crying because, I don't have to do this by myself. I kind of surprised, but very happy that level of emotion was being able to be conveyed. Kind of got me choked up a little bit. I was like, oh, Vash, don't cry, homie. But yeah, no, this was good. I like this. I like the vulnerability. Also, knives is a brain, two eyes, ribs, and a spinal column. So, all right then. Okay, there he is. Knives is alive. I hate it. Let me make sure I didn't leave anything else out. Oh, what kids 100 years ago? All right, check my notes. Yeah, no, this was good. I like this. The only thing that I wish they would have shown more of, which I guess may have made me take half a point off, is like the whole Emilio going, "No one ever looked at me." We only see you being an asshole, and all I can say is that you are an asshole. So maybe if they would have like played that up a little bit, I don't know if you have time. And it's okay for your villains to be villains and be insane and be crazy. Kind of the thing I was saying in some of my Demon Slayer reviews. It's like, hey, okay, I get it. Some of these people have tragic backstories as to why they become the way they are. But here's just like, no one looked at me and the crazy man looked at me. And, well, you are an asshole. So, kind of hard to be like, man, buddy, I feel bad for you. But Vash is the bleeding heart. He's the pacifist. So obviously he's going to feel something towards him. So I call this is a 4.5 out of 5 for me. Dang near perfect. Good episode. At least as of right now, it's the best fight. Because that was just seeing the way Vash operated, seeing it being like less brute strength. It's a Western where he's using his smarts. He's doing the cool reload thing. Cha-cha-cha-chow. Pa-pow, pow, no look. I like that. I like the emotion that went with this. I love that we didn't wait for the reunion and everybody's together. We still left some, little sprinkle crumbs. Like he only has 3 vials left. I'm assuming that's to stabilize himself. What was the thing that dude shot into himself? I figured he was going to turn into another boss or just dry out and die. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Stargazes, man, all that work, that groundwork they put in Stampede, it's paying off in here because they're like, okay, we'll give you some backstory of these villains, way more backstory than the 1998 version, but we'll give you some backstory. We'll remix it a bit like they did in the first season, I guess, but we're gonna keep this moving, and I appreciate that. I'm actually genuinely interested in knowing what's gonna happen in the next one. We do see the title for the next one's called From Order to Chaos. The glimpses we got, the artwork is like Jessica and another girl, the ships, the green area that we saw with Vash, Vash and Knives, and I forget the name of the lady that raised them, but that green area. Someone says we are all birds of a feather after all, so who knows. Also the intro, before I forget, I liked that the intro sprinkled some parts of the fight in it. It was much more fluid, like the plant people moving with that part of the intro, much more fluid. So it's slight differences in here in these intros that I like. I like that it feels like, okay, so this is what's going to happen in this episode. We're going to show you the villain a little bit more. Still show you all the villains, but show you a little bit more of the main villain, more of what's going on. Maybe since last episode, Vash was kind of stagnant. That's why some of the parts were stagnant. Well, now he's not stagnant anymore. Good job. 4.5 out of 5. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please do not forget, hit the like button. Very important. Subscribe. Also very important. Hit the notification bell. Share the video. Very important. And visit that Patreon link in the description below. Thank you for taking some time out to, listen to me talk about Trigun Stargaze. Please be good, be blessed, drink some water, wash your hands, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. Stay warm out there, okay? And I know things are rough right now. Things are very rough. These are trying times. Please, if you're feeling depressed, you're feeling down, please reach out to somebody. Talk to somebody. There are people out there that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I can promise you that. Talk to someone, okay? Want to reach me? My social medias are also in the description below. Give me a follow, say hello, be mellow, and we'll be good to go. All right? Until next time, y'all, I will see you. This next week's might be a little bit late because... that's my birthday. So I'll see you later.